Hello, welcome back to MCFC Connect. Today we are talking about Abdulkadir Khusanov, Manchester City centre-back that we signed in January off of RC Lens. It was cost us, I believe, about 40 million, so not cheap. He's 20 years old, and look, he had a difficult start at City, but look, it shows it does the talking for itself, considering he got Player of the Month for City in February, in his first full month at the club. Been incredible for me since he joined, and for me, he's really changed our defence to some extent, and I'd be worried about him in our defence. That's how good I think he is, to the point where I think we are that much worse without him. But let's just actually jump over to where it began. Let's jump over to where it began. A 5.3, a yellow card, and he gave away a goal within the first minutes of the game. This all happened in less than 10 minutes. It was a bad start, okay? Fell through whilst he was on the pitch, and that's what a lot of people had to say about that as well. It was a very difficult start for John Stones, for Abdulkadir Khusanov, but for me, okay, I think it's almost looked at. I think it's a bit of an overhated debut, a bit of an underrated one, depending on the wording you want. Because that's what people always talk about, those opening 6 minutes. And yes, they were bad. Okay, they were very bad. All right, but let's have a look at defence. So, I'm not going to sit here and say he actually had a sneaky, brilliant game. But 2 recoveries, 1 block, and 1 clearance. The signs were there in terms of his defensive ability. Let's go to his passing, see if he's got anything to show here. Completed the majority of passes with 85%. 2 passes into final third. And attempting long balls, which we know he liked to do whilst he was at Lens. And then duels. Lost the majority of his duels, but on a whole, didn't do too bad. Got fouled once and fouled someone once. So, yeah, Khusanov, not the best debut, but I think it's almost looked at too harsh. I think people zoom in on those 6 minutes. Okay, and for me, after that, and I think most City fans will say that after that, he really kind of grew into the game a bit. But people just can't seem to stop talking about that 6 minutes game. But now, let's have a look since then. Okay, here's that Chelsea game. Have a look at the ratings since then. A 7.7, a 7.4, a 6.5. I would like to say they wasn't even too bad here. And to be fair, the rating doesn't suggest it was bad either. 6, it's above average. A 7.6 versus Liverpool in the game we lost 2-0 and we're always going to lose from minute 1, it looked like. A tight 1-0 win versus Tottenham, 7.4, and then a 1-0 loss against Forest, he got a 7.1. Now then, where I want to start, we'll skip Leyton Orient and we'll jump straight into Newcastle. Because here, to my knowledge, he was really good at the back again. Getting essentially joint highest. Vardio just above him in terms of the highest rating, but yeah, tied up with John Stones on this area in terms of rating. Now let's have a look at stats. That's the main thing we want to have a quick look at. So defense, where is he? Abdulkadir Khusanov, 8 defensive actions, 100% of his tackles won, 5 recoveries, no blocks, 5 clearances, and 3 headed clearances. Duels, let's have another look. Abdulkadir Khusanov, 3 duels won, 2 lost, 1 out of 3 ground duels won, both aerial duels won, committed 2 fouls, but they didn't get booked, so they couldn't have been that bad. And then passing, he's 4th on this bit with a 94% passing accuracy. 3 passes into the final third and 2 accurate long balls. If you go back and watch his long balls, they're really good. He's surprisingly good on the ball, Khusanov, really good. Well, I say surprising. It's not too surprising. I don't think City would sign someone that wasn't too good on the ball. So, it's really good stuff, though, from Khusanov. All these things are just adding to how he's changed us a bit. Okay, he's very aggressive in tackles. If you watch him a lot, you'll see that as well. He's very aggressive, He's not afraid to go in. Sometimes he does commit a foul because of it. He doesn't quite know how foul works in England just yet. But yeah, he's very aggressive going in. A bit like Ruben Diaz in some respect, but a bit different as well. But yeah, that was a 4-0 win. Okay, one of City's best performances as of recently. Now let's have another look at another loss against Liverpool. Now then, let's have a look at the lineup. Now, as you'll see, the best rating in the defence, and to be fair, the second best rating on City's half of the pitch. Only Doku ahead of him, who did have a really good game. So, again, we jump over to stats. We go to defence. Of course, it's all Liverpool players, but then here, 8 defensive actions, 100% of tackles won, 12 recoveries, 1 block, and it's a great block too. It's a fantastic block. 6 clearances, 3 headed clearances, and only got dribbled past the 1 time. And I mean, look, compare that to Ibrahima Konate, who's been quite a key player for Liverpool in their defence. He got dribbled past twice. Robertson got dribbled past once. So it's something to look at. It really is. Again, showing the signs of an absolute top defender. And just looked like, if we go back to the lineup, absolutely really dragging this this backline through it as well, because no one else apart from Vardiol even got a 7. Edison was below a 6. A really good performance from Khusanov again. And now we'll jump one last game. Oh, gone to blinking Vital Hayes. I've done that. One last game. We won't take too long on this one. But even here, another loss. Again, still amidst the top ranks, getting tied up with Diaz on that part. So defense, the highest out of City players, 10 defensive actions, 100% tackles won, 2 interceptions, 1 recovery, 2 blocks, 5 clearances, 2 headed clearances. Passing, third on this respect, 92%, 1 accurate long ball, 9 passes into the final third. Duels, let's have a look. Not the highest, but not the lowest either. 3 duels won, 2 lost, 50% won. 2 out of his 3 aerial duels won and got fouled once. Again, all brilliant stats. Okay, stats that I think if you went back to previous games where Khusanov wasn't in the club, I think you would be not quite hitting these volume stats. I don't think you'd be seeing our defenders having great games in games that we are losing, Now then, you might be thinking, well, that's good and all. So he's a solid defender. How is that changing you? It's changing us because of this. What I'm about to show you now. Okay, we're on a clip on Twitter. It's his incredible speed. Here he is here. Okay, it's zoomed up on him currently. Okay, so where is he? There he is. Here he is there. Okay, not even facing the right end of the pitch. Now he's on the turn. Now it goes to Hudson-Odoi. We'll drag it forward. Hudson-Odoi will quickly pause this so that we can drag it. He's ahead of Rico. Beats Rico to him. And Rico's the fullback. This is Rico's man. Of course, Rico's going in here to almost cover for Khusanov. Khusanov's back. He's right where he needs to be. Forces Hudson-Odoi to make the pass. There's so many instances of his clips. I'm not going to show many clips on here because I don't want to risk copyright and whatever. But honestly, go watch clips of him at Lens and go watch clips of him at here. There's so many times he's used that pace with brilliant effectiveness. Did a great job against Isaac and Vinny Jr. You watch those highlights and his pace, you will see it. It's incredibly promising, and he just seems to be able to do it non-stop. So yeah, only a quick one there, but now we'll jump over to here, have a quick look. Now then, 5 appearances in the Premier League. Won't look too much into this one, but he started most of our games. I think the only one he didn't start was the Arsenal loss. And look, kind of shows what happens when he's not on our team. We suddenly concede 5 goals. And he's played over 3/4 of the minutes he's been available for. Just showing how crucial he's been to us ever since he joined the club. Just being an absolute key part on our side. Didn't play many games here, but he couldn't, to be fair. FA Cup, got a goal. It's probably the easiest goal he ever scored because he didn't mean to. But again, right error, right time. But yeah, again, just getting a lot of minutes in him here. Just shows how crucial he is. And just bear in mind that pace too. It really shows because we haven't got any other defenders that are that quick. Sure, we had Kyle Walker. Okay, Kyle Walker, who's been slowing down for at least the last year. But we've never had like a centre back this quick. Not to my memory. Maybe you guys can help me out there. But this quick, okay, his top speed, we had a look at it before, but I think it's about 37 kilometers. I believe that's faster than Vinny Jr.'s top speed. It's incredibly rapid, and it just showed against Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi's not the slowest player in the world. I know he's got a bit of legs on him. So, it's nothing to be sneered at. And now we'll have a quick look on whoscored.com, having a look at some of his strengths, 12 intercepting the ball, blocking the ball. We've seen that. And again, clearing the ball out of defence often. How many times did I point out his great defensive work? Now then, something I said when he joined the club was that his passing accuracy isn't the highest of passing accuracies. It's just below 90. And when you look at how other City centre-backs shaped up, they're like 92 up. And this guy's just below 92. I said it would happen because of how we play. And it has. He's averaging more passes and he's getting more tackles in. Now then, into his defensive stats. He's committed the couple fouls here and there, been offside like once, 4 clearances. Again, just great stats. And now one last area to look at, one more, is his where he fits into the team. It's somewhere to build around here. He's not going to be in defence forever, Ruben Diaz. And so, look, this could eventually become Vital Hayes to play alongside Khusanov. Remember, he's only 21. Diaz, in a few years, okay, he'll probably move on eventually. It'll be a sad day because we all love Ruben Diaz. And so this could be Vital Hayes one day, who hasn't played much this season, but even more potentially, could be Juma Bar as well. Juma Bar. City fans would know him and maybe a couple rival fans. But look, in terms of how Khusanov is changing this Man City side, he's bringing the pace, he's bringing the aggression, and it's just affecting us on a whole nother level. So look, thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and you want more videos like this, looking at players and how they've been doing at Man City, let me know in the comments below. But if you did enjoy the video, hit the like, make sure to subscribe, more on the way, so make sure to have this notification bell on. And look, I'll see you all in the next one.